I'm going to be making some soy-free tofu. We're going to put it on some salad, and we're also going to be talking about Hashimotos and the stages of Hashimotos, and you may even have Hashimotos and not even know it. But let's start with dinner first. So what this is, when I say soy-free tofu, I actually mean from Big Mountain. So if you know this company, they've got really cool, this is actually made from fava beans. So it's like a tofu, so it's a good protein source, but it's not the soy, which if some of you know is a little problematic. So let's see, there are 16 grams of protein in one serving. There's 4 servings in a box, and there's 0 carbs. So this is a really great thing for those low carb folks out there. And it keeps you full and it tastes good. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna make a little like powder to put on it and a little bit of oils to put on it, and then we're going to throw it in the air fryer. You want to get your air fryer going at 400 degrees for it's going to be about 10 minutes, but I've got mine going right now, so that's why I'm talking a little bit loud, so that we can get it heated up. That is the key to cooking with an air fryer. You want to have it heated up before you put it in there. You know, they say that about the oven. I never have the oven heated up enough, but man, when it comes to the air fryer, it really makes a difference. So I have already cut the, I wonder if I can get this up here. I've already cut the tofu up. So we're gonna put it over here right now, but now we're gonna make the little coating that's gonna go on top of the tofu. So, it is got, let's see, I'm gonna put it in this bowl right here. We're gonna have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Y'all will find that I probably put garlic powder in everything. So, big fan of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder as well. These are 2 spices that you should probably have in your kitchen all the time. I always talk, and you've heard me say this before, that if you're looking at a recipe and you don't have the spice, maybe go ahead and cook the recipe and then get the spice. If you like the recipe, get the spice for the next time, right? So like I ran out of garam masala and I forgot to buy more. That's not a spice you really use very often, but I needed it this weekend, so I went ahead and made the recipe. It was chicken curry. It tasted great, so I'm gonna get some garam masala, and next time it'll taste even better, right? So I got the onion and the garlic in here. Now we're gonna put a teaspoon of paprika. So this is just a basic little rub, basically, that you can think about it being. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of salt. And this is great for your hormones, right? No sugar, no carbs, lots of protein. That's what we're looking for. And then 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, right? So that's just to give it a little oomph, right? A little stickiness to it. All right. Put that there. Okay, I'm gonna mix these all kind of up here. And then I'm actually gonna get that tofu back, and I'm gonna put some liquid on that before we put this on there. So we are gonna put, let me find a spoon. Here we go. Soy. So I don't use soy sauce. I use coconut aminos. I actually like them better. And again, we talked about soy is a little problematic. Coconut aminos are kind of cool. They taste a little sweet. So if you like a sweeter end, I would definitely recommend that. So I'm just going to put this, we're doing 1 tablespoon of this. So I'm just going to kind of put it over the tofu, and then I'll stir it up here in a second. So kind of put a little bit of that over the tofu. And then we're going to put a tablespoon of oil, olive oil. I use olive oil for everything pretty much. That's just my thing. So I'm going to stir this together to get all the liquids kind of in there. Plus it'll help coat the tofu better. Even though technically this isn't tofu, it's fava beans with no carbs, right? How cool is that? Okay, so now I'm taking the powder that we had put together. This is the garlic powder, the onion powder, the paprika, salt, and cornstarch. And I am going to, I put it in there a little bit. I'm going to stir it together. Oops. I think I lost one. Oh well. This is easy to make too, so like with supervision, your kids can make it. You can make it like, some people will turn them into like chicken nuggets and stuff. All right, so it's pretty coated and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is open up the oven here, the air fryer. Let me kind of turn this so you can see what I'm doing. This is the air fryer. And I'm literally just going to throw them in there. You hear it sizzle? Okay, so I'm closing the door. And we need 5 minutes. So I'm fixing to tell Alexa, set a 10-minute tofu timer. Okay, she gave me the timer, so we're good. So we got the tofu timer going for 10 minutes. That's how long you want it in the air fryer. You want it in there for 400 degrees for 10 minutes, right? I want to show you something cool. So what we like to do with our tofu is we do all kinds of things with it, but tonight we're going to put it on a salad. So I love eating in a glass. So I'll actually put lettuce and everything you put in a salad. We love olives in our salad, all that kind of stuff in here. And then I was going to show you something fun that my husband does for me. He transfers it from this glass to right here into this, and then he uses this handy dandy little cutting thing that we got from Amazon, and basically he chops my salad and his salad. So we have chopped salad, which is kind of cool. We try to have salad at least twice a week as a main meal, so a protein. So sometimes it'll be like chicken salad, taco salad. Sometimes we'll cook what we call a big meat, so like maybe we'll cook a whole chicken and we'll put that on the salad as well. So I'm going to take us over here like I normally do, and we're going to talk about stages of Hashimoto's while our wonderful tofu, non-tofu meal cooks up. I'm going to bring my light with me so y'all can see me. All right. Hold on just a second. Let me get... All righty. Okay. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease that happens with our thyroid. Our thyroid is kind of right here. It's a butterfly-shaped gland that we have. It controls all kinds of things, heart rate, our temperature in our body, weight, metabolism, things like that. And Hashimoto's disease is a problem because what happens is this autoimmune actually attacks our thyroid. So when we're talking about autoimmune diseases, they attack our body. So if it's like psoriasis, it's attacking our skin. If it's like lupus, it tends to attack the kidneys. So there's different things that it'll attack. But when it comes to Hashimoto's, it's attacking the thyroid. And this can cause the thyroid to not work. It eventually, if it goes long enough, can actually cause what they call thyroid atrophy, which means your thyroid dies, basically. Lots of people have it that don't know it. So to help manage it, you kind of really need to know what stage you're in. So knowing how you feel, what things are looking like, so you can really take care of yourself. So stage 1, unfortunately, it comes with genetics, right? If somebody in your family is got Hashimoto's, you have much more likely chance of getting it too. So Mr. Poindexter is asking what I'm cooking up in the kitchen today. I am cooking non-soy tofu and a little like cornstarch, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika kind of thing. And eventually I'm going to put it on top of a salad for dinner. So that is what we're cooking tonight. Anyway, back to Hashimoto's. So in this first stage, there's kind of think about a stool, a 3-bar stool, a 3-legged stool that comes when we're talking about autoimmune. So you have a genetic factor, that's one of the legs. Then you have leaky gut stuff, so gut stuff is the second leg. And then the third leg is a trigger, right? We're going to talk about triggers in a little bit. But genetics is a big one. So you know, if somebody in your family's had Hashimoto's or thyroid issues, definitely makes it much more likely for you. It also, just being a woman, makes you more likely to have Hashimoto's. Women get it definitely more than men. So when you're in this stage 1, it's just, okay, it's in your system. You could trigger it, you cannot trigger it. Stage 2 is when we get those triggers, right? This is what triggers the event to happen and cause it to start eating at your thyroid, which we don't want. So we talked about women. One of the reasons is we have so many hormonal transitions in our lives. So we go in through puberty, and then we have pregnancy, and then we have perimenopause and menopause, and then sometimes during all that we have too much estrogen, which can cause a problem as well. So all these things can be triggers. Our hormones being out of balance can actually trigger the thyroid. In fact, cortisol and insulin are 2 of the biggest triggers that our thyroid has, besides stress, by the way. Stress is a big trigger. So pollution, stress, junk food, not eating well. You know, I've talked about many times before, we want to eat nutrient-dense foods because that helps our body feel safe. And when our body feels safe, it can do things, right? That's what we want. So during this stage 2, you may or may not notice you're ill. Some people will be tired. That's kind of their first thing they notice, or they can't lose weight. That could be another thing they notice. But that's the kind of thing. Now this stage, the stage 2, where you're kind of triggered, can last a long time. But that's not good because your Hashimoto's is getting worse and worse. Your antibodies are getting worse and worse. So we don't want that to happen. Stage 3 is when it's clinical hypothyroidism. So that's when you get your blood work done and you get the complete thyroid test. And you've heard me say this before. So you're not just checking TSH and T4. You're checking everything, including antibodies, okay? So when you get that, it's about 7 components. When you get that test done and you take it to like your alternative doctor, a naturopath, functional doctor, somebody like me, to look at it, we're looking at it not through the conventional ranges, but through our ranges, right? And when we look at it, we're saying, hey, this thyroid is not acting the way it should be. And that is called subclinical hypothyroidism. So something's going on with the thyroid, but you're not in a disease state yet. So the goal is to get you not to that disease state, right? So that's what this stage 3 is. This, lots of people tell me they're having brain fog, fatigue, hair loss, cold sensitivity, you know, you name it, they're feeling it in this stage 3. That's what gets them either to go to a regular doctor and the regular doctor says your numbers are fine, don't worry about it. And then they eventually get to someone like me and we say, hey, you got subclinical hypothyroidism. I can't talk today. This is all related back to Hashimoto's, right? So this Hashimoto's is actually putting you into the hypothyroidism. And by the way, 90% of people who have hypothyroidism have Hashimoto's as well. But since doctors don't check, you may not know if you have it or not. Okay, so in this stage 3 subclinical hypothyroidism, it's common for fluctuations to happen with hormones, so they're kind of real erratic. But if you're diagnosed in this stage, you still have an opportunity to keep your thyroid gland functioning instead of going into that complete hypothyroidism, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So stage 3, subclinical hypothyroidism, you still have a chance, okay? Stage 4 is clinical hypothyroidism. That is when the a medical doctor says to you, a conventional doctor says, listen, we got to give you meds. Something's going on, okay? We don't like this. This is not a good spot, but I always tell people in my clinic, give it at least 3 months, natural. Let's see if we can get it under control. See if you can get those numbers to do what they're supposed to do. And if you can't, then you may need medication if you've gotten to this point. Now, the other bad thing that happens at this time is we go from this clinical hypothyroidism into stage 5. So if you don't take care of it at the clinical, by the way, remember there's still an opportunity at that point to work on it naturally and not have to go on meds, okay? We can still work with you at that clinical hypothyroid. By the time it gets to stage 5, though, the thyroid atrophy, and it also can mean progression of other autoimmune issues. So thyroid atrophy means that your thyroid quits working. You have to be on medicine then, and you cannot go out, okay? You cannot go off of it. So if you are currently on thyroid medicine, stay on thyroid medicine. Do not go off. If you have questions, you can contact me individually if you're interested in my program. But even in my program, I do not promise to get people off of thyroid medicine, right? The goal is to keep you from getting on it. So anyway, the thyroid can atrophy, can die. The other thing that can happen is once you have one autoimmune disease, which Hashimoto's is, you are more at risk to get others. Those are things like Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, celiac, all those kinds of things can come. Celiac is actually common with Hashimoto's. Unfortunately, it's common. I don't know if I should say that. I see it with it a lot because the thyroid controls a lot of gut function. And so if the gut isn't working, that's going to help, hurt the celiac, right? So you're wanting to do 2 things. You're wanting to stop this hypothyroidism, but you're also wanting to stop that thyroid atrophy, right? Because again, if these autoimmune issues can cause other immune issues, and we do not want that. So what do you need to do? The biggest thing you need to do is catch it early. I believe that everyone 20 years or older should, particularly women, should get a full thyroid check, okay? If you want to know what that is, get a hold of me. I'll give you all the details on that. Okay, so it's a functional blood test, right? So you're going to do that around 20. And then about every 5 years, it's good to get a baseline. Now, if at any point between 20 and 100, you start losing your hair, gaining weight or losing weight, that doesn't make sense. brain fog, fatigue, all those things, get it done again. Okay, so these every 5 years are just making sure that you don't have antibodies, that the thyroid's looking okay. But if you start having symptoms, we need to get it done then and really see where you're at. And they can be stopped. There are things we can do. There are supplements you can take. Now, I will tell you, I always try to do things without supplements, but when it comes to hypothyroidism and particularly Hashimoto's, I love working with diet and I love working with lifestyle, but you do sometimes have to add in some supplements till we get you stabilized. So think about that. So if you are interested in getting the thyroid test done, get in touch with me. I'm at Alternative Health with angel.com, and I can talk to you about my functional testing. Alexa's telling me that the tofu's done. And I also have a 6-month Hormone Heaven program where we work you through all of the hormones of cortisol, insulin, thyroid, and sex hormones to get you really balanced, mainly with lifestyle and diet, but we also use supplements in that as well. Hold on just one second. Alexa, please stop. So keep that in mind. If you're interested in that, we can definitely talk. But now, I got to get another bowl out. Alrighty. So I am on a mission to keep women off of thyroid meds. So if you know anybody that's been told by their doctor that they need to go on medication or whatever, please have them get in touch with me. This is something I have been in the business for almost 15 years now, and it has been my mission almost as soon as I got in, and had so many women telling me about their thyroid issues, subclinical thyroid issues. And, you know, I've seen 7,000 people in that time frame, and almost all of them had thyroid issues. Like probably 75% of them did. And I've helped so many people, and that's my mission. That's kind of like my thing I want to do, right? I really want to help women. And one of the things we find is that thyroid really tends to go out during perimenopause. Now, I just wanted to make a real quick comment about perimenopause. Perimenopause can actually start at age 35 and go to about 55 sometimes. Usually it only lasts about 10 years. So if you start early, you usually end around 45, thank goodness, right? But perimenopause is a huge chunk of our life. So that is another thing that I work with as well. So if you have anybody, you know anybody, they're like entering that 35 to 45 age range, and you're tired, you're losing your hair, you're gaining weight, get in touch with me. Follow me on the socials, Alt Health Angel. I put most of my videos on here as well on YouTube, trying to get the word out that we can get you healthy without having to be on medication. So talk to y'all soon, and I hope you enjoy your no soy tofu.